All right, I guess we can start with today's masterclass. Firstly, warm welcome to all of you present here. I would like to welcome you from the MyWays team, and I hope you find this session insightful and interesting. So, firstly, I would like to introduce myself. I am Kashish Pidhuri. I am the student community head at MyWays, and I will be your host for today's session. So to start with, I would like to tell you all about MyWays. So MyWays is an AI and career growth platform for the students. We aim to help them in being employable in their desired role. We provide them with internship opportunities, courses, and training sessions. Also, the best part is we help them in tracking their growth. And apart from this, we also conduct weekly master classes for our student community. That is one which is happening today. So it's a part of it. So today we have an industry expert, Mr. Nishant Kumar Tiwari, with us. And the topic for today's webinar is build a feature of an e-commerce app using React. So today we will be learning about fundamentals of React, building features of ReactJs, installation and making of UI of ReactJs, and lastly, a hiring opportunity from our end. So you guys are going to learn a lot of things today. I hope you find this informative and insightful. So without any further ado, let's get started with the session. Over to you, sir.
Hello, everyone. So, before starting, I am assuming you guys know little bit of JavaScript. So, can you guys rate yourself out of 10 in the chat box so that I can know okay, how much I should tell you or how much I should not? Guys, rate yourself out of 10.
Also, we would
7 out
really
of 10.
appreciate if all of you can engage through chat. That will make the session even more interesting and you guys will be engaged throughout.
7 out of 10. That is good. 8, good. Only 3 people. Guys, text me how much do you know about JavaScript. Okay, that is good. I am assuming you know the basics. So to learn React, before learning React even, you guys know, you should know what is React and why we actually use it. So do you have, do you guys have any idea what is React or why do we use it? Okay, so let me tell you. So basically, React is a library of JavaScript. It should be noted that React is a library, not a framework. React have several frameworks, library to build cross-platform mobile. Okay, so React is not only for mobile apps. React is for web development. React Native is for web mobile development, mobile apps. So React is a library of JavaScript. It is made to build UIs basically. So whatever you are seeing on the screen, that can be made in React.js. Okay, so generally in interviews, people ask React is a library or a framework. So React is a library. It should be noted. And why we use React? So do you guys have any idea what is the benefits of React? Why preferring React today, like in industries right now? Why did are not using PHP or HTML? Because for making UI screens, we have HTML, we have PHP, and of course we also have Angular. Then why are people preferring React? If you have any ideas, you can like open your mic and speak, and also you can text on the chat box. Okay, so let me tell you. So basically, there are 2 or 3 benefits of React. So suppose if you are making a web page, and generally in web page we have 3 things: navbar, body, and footer. I hope you all know what is navbar, what is body, and what is footer. So if you're using HTML, what you will be doing? What you will make a navbar component, then you will make body, then you will make a footer. And if you are making about us page, then again you will write the code of navbar, again you will write the code of body, again you will write the code of footer. Basically, your navbar will be same, but it will be repeated again and again. Basically, you will copy paste your code. Your code will be more, even though your code is same. Your code is repeating. That should not happen because it will eventually reduce your efficiency of the web page. So even someone reloads your page, it again downloads everything again, everything will be re-rendered again, everything will be downloaded again. So it may be slow. Of course, it is slow. Not only maybe, it is slow. So in React, what happens? We make a component. So suppose it's like a function. So if you know what function is, so we make a code inside a particular block, and we use that block everywhere with a single liner. That is like a function. In React also we make a component. We write the repetitive code in the component, and we use only component. So basically in React we can use a single piece of code many times. So suppose if you are making a nav bar in React, you don't have to make it on the main page. You can make a new component and you can call that component anywhere, and you don't have to write it again and again. Your code will be reused. So the first point, in React we can reuse our codes. Okay. And the second thing, React makes a single page website. So even though you see websites have several pages like about us, home, suppose in e-commerce you have product list and cart, wish list, everything. They It may look that they have several pages, but in React that is not the case. In React, everything is a single page. So if you see a React website, anything won't be reloaded again and again. So if you open a React website, na, it will be loaded. All the things will be loaded only once. After that, whenever you open a link, it will be like it won't reload. But if you try to use PHP, if you try to use Angular, if you try to use any other, like suppose if you use native HTML, it will reload if you click a link. So I can show this even. Let me check some React websites. Okay. So see, this is a React website. Okay. So this is the page. See, you can see that this page is big, not only a small page, it is a big page. And if I'm trying, okay, see on the loader part, see where the loader is. If I try to go to any other page, it will directly change to shops. It won't reload again. But if you try to see older website, it will reload again. Even if you go to a link, suppose if I'm go to homepage, it won't be reloaded. It will just redirect me. Okay, so this is the benefit of React. So React basically don't reload again and again. It reloads only once. It is a single page website. So there are two benefits, actually three. First, reusable components. Second, single page website. And third, of course, everything won't be reloaded, then the efficiency will increase. React have a much higher efficiency than Angular, than PHP, than any other native HTML. So I hope you guys understand why people are preferring React in industries as well. So if you guys understand, can you rate yourself out of 5? Like what did you understand or what did you not in this part? Cool. So actually, we have a very less time to make a feature, a full website e-commerce. So we will be making a little bit of feature of an e-commerce. It may seem little, but actually it is not. When we will build this feature, you will see that this is not actually the very easy feature. Not easy, we can say, not a minor feature. It is a very big feature. So suppose what we are trying to achieve here is you will have a cards like suppose if you are opening Amazon, you search for clothes, you will get several clothes, then you like 4 clothes, you click on add to cart. So what happens in when you click on add to cart, your navbar count increases, that 4 items are added in the cart. When you go to the cart, that 4 items are present in the cart. So this is what we will try to achieve it in this class. So before that, let's see how to install React. So installing React is kind of easy. Actually, React uses several other dependencies like React DOM, React, and all. So if you want, you can install it individually, but that might be confusing. Okay. So there is a npm package. I hope you know what is npm. Npm is basically a package manager. So it will help you to manage existing packages. So basically, there is an npm package called Create React app. It will install every React dependency for your project. So let me share my screen again. So you just have to search npm create React app, and the second link, see npm.js create React app, the npm package. Just install it on your command prompt. So you must have node module before using npmi. So to install node module as well, you can simply search node download or download node. See, this is the first download link. You can download it, download node very easily. So if you download node, you will get the access of npm, and by that you can install npm create React app. So creating the initial template of React is kind of easy. So suppose I have a command prompt. What you have to do is now simply
Oh,
npx. You have to type npx. You can also type npm, but npx and npm there is a minor difference. If you type npx, it will check for the updated packages. If you are trying to create a new package, always write npx. It will check online that is there new package available in this particular template or not. So your project will be updated. So you just type npm create React app. Now you have to type the name of your app. So suppose if you are making e-commerce, so we will write e-commerce. See, now just type enter, and it will start downloading every dependency for your project. So it may take time to download. It will download several other libraries, packages. So it will take almost 2 to 5 minutes. If your laptop is very much fast, it will take 2 to 3 minutes. Otherwise, it will be more than 5 minutes. So see, here it is installing React, React DOM, React scripts, CRA templates and all. So it will take time. So I already installed it. So let me cancel it. See, if you try, this folder will appear, and still it is not completed installed. That's why it will not be completed. I will delete it. See, I already installed e-commerce, and I also opened it in my VS Code. Okay, so when you install the install the React app by using create React app, this will be your template. You will have node modules. You will have public. You will have src. You will have get ignore package log.json, package.json, readme. So let me explain what these files are. So basically in React, you use several packages. Suppose if you want to use icons, you use it from React icons or material UI. Basically, whatever package you install, this package.json will contain that information. I showed you that that npx create React was installing React DOM, React scripts. So see, the information of that packages will be there. Even the version name also will be there. So it will your name of this app is e-commerce, version is this, dependency is this. So every information about this app will be in package.json, and the packages you install as well. Package log.json is the detailed version of your packages. So if you installed React DOM, then the detailed data of that package will be in package log.json. Git ignore is the file if you don't want some files to be in the Git repo. So that is for git ignore. Setup test.js you don't need to know because this file is totally useless for beginners. Repo web vitals is useless. Logo is for the logo. So let me show how you can run it. You just have to, if you want to run your React app, you just have to type npm start. It will start your app. So it may take time first time so to start. So be ready for that. And see, these are the logo SVG. So let it load. Basically, this is what you will see. App where an icon is rotating. This is the text. This is the React documentation link and all. So if you install a new app, this will be your data. You'll have to remove it. Then you will be able to edit something. So suppose if you will have these three files: node modules, public, src, these three folders basically. So whatever packages you will install, their data will go in node modules. And remember, if you are sharing your project to someone, even if you are sharing your project on GitHub, you don't need to put node modules there, because your node modules could be of size of GBs. So you don't need to share the node modules. Package.json is enough. If some developer have package.json, they can install node modules. Now you will have a public folder. And basically in React, we don't use HTML. Basically, whatever you write in React now, it will be in a single div container. So suppose, let me open this HTML file. See, if I remove this commented code, so if I remove this commented code, see, this is the HTML in the whole React app. This is the only HTML you will see in a React app. We will not touch this index.html unless we have to install some links or whatever. So every code in React you write inside that single root div. See, we have the simple HTML template. Then we have title, React app, body, inside body. Suppose if someone has disabled JavaScript, that is for this no script, and all the code which you write, all the code, it will come inside the dev root. So we will not touch it. You'll see how we want to use that root. Now, there is logo, favicon, whatever you see here. This is the favicon. And manifest.json, this also contains your information of your app in the JSON format. So these are the files. In src, there are several other files like index.js. This is the most important file in your whole app, you will see. So we don't need report vitals and all. We can remove this. Okay. So see. Okay, so do you guys have any question in the file formatting, what these file does? If you guys have any question, you can ask.
Sir, I think we can take all the questions at the end and we can continue.
Okay. Okay. So even though if you stuck or somewhere, if you don't understand something, you can raise your hand or open your mic and then ask questions. So see, here you will have two things. You will install two things. So for now, let's remove index.css. Let's remove app.js. Let's remove restrict mode as well. You don't need to know what this is for now. Let me comment it. So see, I will install two packages. First is React from React. Second is React DOM from React DOM. So see, what happens is whatever you see on the web page, that is DOM, document object model. So React have its own DOM, that library is called React DOM. So if you want to manipulate the original DOM from React, you have to use React DOM library. Now, see, as I told you, whatever we write our code of React, it is in root div. So basically, we are selecting that data document.get element by ID root. Simple JavaScript DOM manipulation. We are getting that root. Now we are just calling this render method. See, we are calling React. We just created a new what we say branch or new root div. React DOM dot create root div. Then we are rendering it. Rendering means showing it on screen. So basically, we are showing something root dot render on here. So suppose if I write h1, hi, I am React. Let's see on the screen. See, hi, I am React. So basically, what I am doing is I am creating a new node. I am telling the index file that render it on the root div. So this is how React is working in background. And of course, there is a life cycle how React works. So this is about the code part, but what are the algorithms React work on? So basically, whatever you see on the web page, React doesn't change it. Don't change it directly. So suppose if I change, I am React to hello world. Hello world. So it may look that it changed instantly, but this doesn't happen. React have a concept of virtual DOM. So whatever you are seeing on the screen is DOM, but React have its own copy of that DOM that is known as virtual DOM. So whatever you change on the React app, it is changed on the virtual DOM. And after some time, that change is reflected on the DOM. That process is known as reconciliation. And by the React uses the algorithm to check the previous change from the current change. That is by the diffing algorithm. So that is not important for now. So see, one more thing. So suppose if you want to make a whole app, you have to write several codes. Okay. So you can't write h1 hello world inside the render function itself. So we make a component here. What we do, we make a component. Let me remove this code. Basically, we make an app file, app.js file. So whatever we write our code here, it will be reflected in this app component, and it will be rendered on the screen. So it is easy to make a file and change your codes here. Okay, so now we have to make basically we have to make a nav bar, then we have to make a body, then we have to make a component. So let's say I remove this code. I remove this code, remove logo as well because we don't need it. Okay. Let's write here, hello world. See, it should be reflected on the screen, and it will be. Now, let's make a navbar component. So to make a navbar, we already have a app.css file imported. Let me open it to the site. Okay. We have pre-written codes and all. We can just make it. So let's say I make a navbar container. Var container. Okay, shortcuts are not working here. So it may seem like whatever I am writing here is uh, it is what HTML, but it is not. And also how I made this app.js, I forgot to tell you. Let me start from again. So suppose if you want to make a new component, you basically write the name of the component .js. Then you have to make a function. Let's say basically in JavaScript, there are two ways to make a function. Either you write a function keyword, either you make a fat arrow function. So let's say I'm using this app function app. Yes. Now, if I make a function app, I have to export it. So if basically if some file, some component wants to use app.js, it must be exported so that other components like here index.js can import it. Then he will be able to use the code of app.js. So basically we have to write export default and okay. So it is necessary that whatever the name of this function is, that same name will be here. So if you don't write the same name, your file will not be exported and no other files will not be able to use it. Now we simply have to write our code here, return. Now we can write h1 hello world again. See, but there is a problem also. So if you know what function is, so can you tell me how many values a function can return? You can type it on chat as well. Uh, how many values can a function return? Virtual DOM, which memory is to do work? Okay, I will answer this question in the last. Okay, so 111 exactly. That's the right answer. A function can return only one value. Just give me a second. Okay, a function can return only one value. So if you try to write again h1, I am second, it will give an error because here I am trying to return two values. So this is not possible in React also. The concept of the function is same. You can return only one values. So you have a way to do it. So either way I am using h1 two times, but if I include this in a single div, now React is returning only a single div. It may be possible that div contains several elements, but React any app function is returning only a single div. So here the condition of the function satisfies, and our work is also being done. So if you see the screen, my code will work because now React is only returning a single div, not two h1s. So instead of writing div, there is a term called React fragments, or also called sugar fragments. So you can remove it. This is the syntax of sugar fragment. Just open bracket and close bracket, same. This will also work. See, this will also work. Now let me remove this code and start making our app, because eventually our goal is to make our app. So let's say I create a div. By the way, what I was telling, whatever tags I'm using, h1 tag, div tag, input tag, whatever I will use, that is not HTML. That is known as JSX. JSX stands for JavaScript XML, or there is another term for it. You can Google it and check. Basically, the name is JavaScript XML. So whatever you code you write, like div input tag, that is not HTML, that is JSX. Okay. So if someone asks you what HTML you are writing, you should answer that this is not HTML. This is JSX. The syntax is same. The code is same. Just a minor difference. I will show you the code. So let's say this is a div and I want to give it a class. So in HTML, what you guys were doing, you guys were giving only class. But in React, you will have to give class names. Sorry, class name. Let's say I give class name app. Now, okay, see here there is nothing because I wrote nothing. Now let's see, I have to make my navbar. So there are two ways to make a navbar. Either you write your code here or make a new component. So React is all about reusing your code. So if you write your code in app.js, it may possible that you want that navbar somewhere else, but you won't be able to use it because you wrote your code in the app.js itself. So let's make a component of navbar. In SS, let's see the folder structure as well. In SRC, let's make a folder called components. Again, make a folder called navbar and make a file, new file. Uh, Again, if you make a component, the first letter should be capital. So if I am going to name it navbar, n should be capital. So navbar dot JSX, because we are making a JSX component, not JS. So the extension should be JSX. Okay. So this component is created. See, there are several extensions in React from where you can write the whole code in just by one liner or shortcuts, you can say. So see, I imported React, I made a Tero function, I returned div navbar, I exported that navbar. That is the same thing I explained you in app.js. Now, suppose if I want to use this navbar in app.js, what I have to do, I will just import this navbar. Import navbar from dot slash components slash navbar slash navbar. To use this component, you just have to use it like the tags. Open a bracket, put the name, close it here. It is self-closing. You can use it as a self-closing. So see, in the screen, you will see the navbar text. The same which I wrote here. Let me remove this file. You see, whatever I change here, navbar, hello world, it will reflect here. So basically, whatever code I write in navbar, it can be used anywhere just by importing it and using it like this tag. So let's make our navbar, okay? And so we will not focus on CSS for now. I already wrote the CSS file. The CSS, you can get these codes from the GitHub. So I will not write the CSS code. I will just copy and paste it, but I will show you how you will write CSS. So I will make a new CSS file here, navbar.css. Now to import CSS file, you just have to write import codes.slash_navbar.css. Navbar.css. So I will not write the CSS so that our time can be saved. I will just copy and paste the CSS part. Okay, so C components, navbar, CSS. So let's write our first code of navbar. Again, before writing any code, I will make a sugar fragment. Now I will make a container. Let's name it. Okay, first of all, write. Now again for class name, let's write navbar. container, container. See, you will find nothing because I didn't type anything. Also, give me a second, guys. Okay. Now, in navbar container, we will be keeping two things. First is simple logo, or we can say home, and the cart, basically a cart symbol, where you can increase the count when you click on add to cart. So again, I will make a div. Let's say this time I will name it class name nav logo container. Container. Again, I will make a div. Let me just copy and paste it. Nav link container. Inside logo, let me just write home. Let's see. Let's see. Here you will get a home. Now, again, here I want a cart symbol. Either I can write simply a cart. See, cart. But I will show you how you guys can use symbols in React as well. So there are several libraries by which you can use icons. Okay. So let's say the first one is React icons. See, this is the library. So you will find several icons here. So to install this library, you can simply go to its home page. This is the command npm install react icons.save. Let me just copy and paste it. Copy paste, come to your file, open your terminal, open new terminal, and copy paste your command. Npm install react icons and just enter it. Also check in the package.json file. If you install any new package, the data of that package will come here. The name of the package, the version of the package will come here. So look at this. See, as soon as I imported it, it reflected here. React icons. You can see React icons 460. So this is the power of React. Whatever you install, you will get the data in the package.json file as well. So let's use this icon. Come here and just type cart. Now you will have several options. You can use any one which you want. Let's say, what should I? Let's say I use this. Yes, fill cart. Using it is quite simple. Just open the bracket, type it, self. It is also self-closing. That's it. You don't have to do anything. You just have to import it as well. To import it, you can again copy paste the code. I'm telling you to copy paste because you don't have to do so much like mehnat to yourself. So you can simply write anything. See, this is the import command. Just copy paste it here as well. Import the name of icon. One more thing, if you are using React icons now, whatever the name is, like suppose the name starts with BS, so always change this in the last BS. Let's check in our React app. See, here I got my icon. Now again. So whatever I want, I add in my cart, your cart icon updates. So suppose if I make a span here, span, let's say count is 0. See, this is your icon. So whenever you click on add to cart, this count should increase. Suppose if you click one time, you added one product, count should be 1. If you added 2 products, count should be 2. If you added 3, count should be 3. So that's why I made this 0 icon. For now, let it be 0. We'll make it dynamic. So whenever you add, it will be, the count will increase. Okay. For now, let it be. Now come here. So see, here your work is complete. Your nav bar is complete. Now you have to show the product data, whatever you have products. So for that also, I already have the product data. You don't need to write it. We won't waste our time here. So let's say I made a folder called data and product.js. See, I have an array of products. Let me again do it in our file as well. In src, I will make a component folder called data. Again, products.js. Now I will just copy and paste this whole data. This is basically a fake data. You generally in productions, you will get an API, you will call that API, you will get these data from an API. So we are not using APIs, we are not using context. So that's why I'm just taking a prefixed data, basically a hard coded data. Now let's show this data on the screen. Okay. So this is also quite simple. You just have to map the whole data. Basically, here you will have an array. So I am assuming that you know what map is, what a map function is. So we just have to map this data. So let's make a component again. Again, I can map it in the app.js itself, but I'm not doing it because I want my code to be reusable. So let's make a new component here. In src, in components, let make a product listing. Product listing. Again, I will write a new file. Product listing.jsx. Remember, the first letter will be capital. Again, I will use shortcut RAFCE. Again, I will create a new file, CSS file as well. Let's say product.css. Product.css. Again, I will not tell you how to write CSS. I will just copy paste the CSS as well. Let's again come to the product listing page. Again, I will remove this product listing. I will just put a sugar fragment and let's write product. Okay. Now we have to use that component inside our app.js. So we'll have to import that component, then use it. Let's say product listing. See, here you will get a suggestion to directly import it. React will automatically import it, so you don't have to. Now, if you come on your screen, see, you will have a product. Now we just have to render it here. Product listing.jsx. So from where we are getting our data? We are getting our data from the data folder, and in the data I have product.js. So let's import that file. Import products. See, it automatically suggested me this. Now again, there is a question you may ask. If I am importing a component, so if I am importing a component, I am not using curly braces. But if I imported products, I used a curly braces. So you may ask this. So let me tell you first. So if I am exporting my product, my data with the default keyword, export default product listing, I don't need to use curly braces. If I am using default keyword, I don't need to use curly braces. But if I am not using it, I have to use curly braces. So again, let's make uh, what we say. Let's make a new div. With class name product listing container. Product listing container. Our product listing is completed. So if I print hi, see here hi is printing, but I have to print the data. So what I will do is one more thing. If you want to write your JavaScript code in JSX, you will have to use curly braces. That's why I'm using the curly braces to write my
Um,
JavaScript code.
Sorry to interrupt, sir, but your screen is not visible. Can you please reshare it again?
Oh,
I guess
sure,
there's
sure,
some
sure.
technical glitch.
Okay, let me reshare my screen.
Yeah, and it will be helpful if you could repeat last 5 minutes or few part of it, like a brief
Oh,
for the same.
okay.
Thank you. Yes, now it's oh,
I will reshare.
yes, now it's visible.
Okay. So see, I made my navbar. Again, I'm repeating. I made my navbar. Now, to add something in cart, you must have something. So basically, if you want to add a product in cart, you must have products. So now we are making a product listing page where you have products. So to get that product data, I made a data folder. I made a product.js where I have the array of products. So what I did, I just imported the product.js in product listing page. Now I just want to map it on my screen. Again, if I want to use JavaScript code inside a JSX, I have to use curly braces. So now I will use curly braces here. Then I am able to use JavaScript here. So let's write product dot map. I am assuming you guys know what map is. Okay. Map contains two values. So suppose let's suppose first is product. Second, let's say second will be ID. Return. Let's say dev again. Close div. Now let's write for now product dot title, because in products you have title. Product dot title. Here you have title. See title. So it should show on a screen. See, you are seeing all the titles of the product which you have here. Okay. But Generally, we don't see it like that. We whatever the products we see, suppose let me open the Chrome. Let's say I am searching clothes on Flipkart. See, even if you open Flipkart, you will see cards like this, where there is some padding, there is image, there is title, there is price, and all. This is how you see your products. So basically, this is a card data. So let's make a card ourselves. In our SRC file, I'm in the component in product listing in navbar as well. So in product listing, let's make our card here. Again, I will make a new component card.jsx. Again, I will use RAFCE. Now I just have to write the code here. Sugar fragment. Just give me a second. Okay. So let's make a div. This is now all is the CSS part. So I will not explain much what the CSS is doing and all. So I will just copy paste the class names and all. Product container, product container. Then there I want an image. So let's say product image. Here we'll have image. So for now, let's take any image which we have. Okay, let's do something else. Okay, let's take this image. Right click, copy image link. From here, paste it here. For now, let it be this. Also, I can format my document. So format document. Now I will just write a span for title. Title should be like clothes. Clothes. Now again, there should be a button add to cart. Let's see this on screen. How this will go. Leave it. I'm just restarting my server. Okay, so there's nothing to explain here. So basically, I made it a card component. Now I will use it in our product listing. So see here, I'm using product.title instead of this. I will just use card. It is self-closing. It is automatically imported by React. So if you go here, let's say there is some error or okay, it is still restarting. So now here what will happen? Whatever the amount I have in the okay, it is reloaded. See, see this image. Whatever the amount of the data I have in the product, that same amount will be reflected here as a card. Okay. So I may have mistaken in some class names. That's why it is not implementing the styles. Let me check. In card.js product container, I have product container. Okay, leave it for now. See, one more thing. Here, your data is hard coded. Your data is hard coded. You are not actually seeing the data which you are getting from the array. So if you want to pass a data from parent component to child component, you can use props in React. So see here, the parent component is product listing, the child component is card. You have some data in parent component that is products. If you want to pass that data in card component, so you can use product, and that is quite simple. Just write a variable called product and pass this product data in here. Let me write it. Product. Okay. So now you will get the data here. Let me write console.log. Console.log. Inside the function. So to access those props which you passed, you have to use props keyword and just the same name props dot product. Let's see if we are getting this data or not. Control Shift I. Let's come to console. See, I am getting these data in objects. Let me change it. My screen. See, I am getting these data of the object here. Now I just have to use this data and show it on the screen. So instead of writing props, you can also destructure it. Simply make an object and make product here. Product. Now you don't have to write props. And here in SRC, again, I will not use hard coded image. Here I will use product dot image. But I already had image.1. See, here I have the image.1. So that's the same thing I'm using here. Again, here I will use product dot title. Let's see on the screen. See, now you are getting the data, original data. Every data is dynamic. Now, whatever the data you had in array is coming up here. And how are you passing this data? You are passing this data from products and from props. Okay. So, okay, why the image is only single? It may have the internet issue as well. Let me check. Okay. So it has internet issue. The images is not rendering. One image is rendering only. So that is fine. Basically, you can see your title. Your title is updating. Now let's, here comes the main feature. When I click on add to cart, this count should increase. So to increase the count, I must have to store the data whenever I click on add to cart. So suppose if I click on add to cart, this data should be stored so that I know that this data is in the cart. So what we can do here is in the let's remove this console. Come to the app.js. Okay, so to use variables in React, you have use state. Basically, you can't use const abc something and change the state of the React. To change the state in the React, you have a new hook. Basically, that is known as use state. To use state is simple. Just import use state. State from React. It is imported. To use it, just type the const, then the name of the state. So suppose I am using cart, because whatever the data, whatever the button is clicked, I want to store that data inside this cart. This is setter function. Use state. Initially, it will be an array. So see how this use state works. So let's console it. CLG cart. So see you will have a variable called cart. Now the initial value of the cart is this array. So if I put 1, the cart contains the value 1. So whatever I put here, whatever I put, even if I put blank array, cart will contain that value. Okay, cart will contain that value. So if I console.log, I put it 8, so 8 will come up here. So if I reload it, my screen, if I reload it, see, 8 is coming up because the cart contains initial value of 8. So I am putting, okay, once again, suppose if it is 8 and I want to change that value, I want to change that value to 10. So to change that value, you can't write cart is equal to 10. You have to use setter function. This set cart is a setter function. So basically, whenever you write set cart 8, suppose you write set cart 8, 10, this cart value will change from 8 to 10. This is how setter function works. So I will show you how this works later. Let's suppose this initial value of cart is 1. Now, I want to change the count of navbar. So let's say I have data in this cart. It means if I have 2 data, that I have 2 products in cart. So basically the count is the length of that cart. So let me pass the length in navbar. I am again using props to pass the data. I will just parse cart dot length. Now in navbar.js, I will simply write props, and here instead of 0, I will write props dot length. I will simply write props dot length. Now, whatever the initial value of that cart will be, it will be here. So let's say in app.js, I write here 1, comma 2, comma 3. So the length of cart is 3. The count should be 3. See. So now if I click on add to cart and when I push that data inside this array, my count should increase. Okay. So now again, this is now dynamic. Now I just have to put those data. So whenever I click on add to cart, I have to put this data inside this array. So to do this, for now, I will simply pass this set cart inside here using props. Okay. I can props a setter function, a state using props as well. Now here where I have my add to cart button, it is inside cart.jsx. So again, I have to pass this. Suppose I am restructuring the data here. Set cart is restructured here. Again, I have to pass this data in card as well because my add to cart button is in card. Again, let's write the same. Now let's come to the cart. Again, I will restructure it here, set cart. Now, whenever someone clicks on add to cart, a new, let's say on click, this is an event which will occur when someone clicks on that button. Let's say I create a function called add to cart. Now let's make this function const add to cart. Now, whenever someone clicks on this add to cart, this function will run. Let's say console.log I am clicked. Let's click here. See, it is printing I am clicked. Means my function is working. Now I have to update. I have to send this data in of products in the cart. So I will simply use setter function and put products in setter function. See, for now I'm doing this. Now, whenever I click my add to cart, the count will increase. It means my data is added in the array. But there is a problem here. Whenever I click on add to cart, it will always be 1. And that is because I am pushing only single data. I am not keeping my previous data. So to ensure this doesn't happen, let's write previous. In previous, it will make a callback, and in the variable of that callback, the previous data of this cart will come. Basically, whatever I have data in cart, this will come here. Now again, I will do this, but before adding products, I will spread my previous. Spreading means if you have data 1, 2, 3 inside array, if you spread that array, it means you are removing those 3 values from the array. You are spreading those values. So the syntax is simple, 3 dots and that value. Now if I go here and try to let's refresh it. The count is 0. If I add to cart 1, if I again add to cart, it is 2. Again add to cart, it is 3. Again 4. Okay, so basically now my add to cart is working. Now if I click on add to cart, my data is going inside the cart. So our 80% work is complete. Now I just have to show this data inside a new field. Let's say okay, let's leave it here. I will show you inside this project. So suppose let's log in this project first. This is also an e-commerce which I made. So here you will also have a add to cart button. You can all see this cart quantity when I add something. item added to the cart, again item added to the cart. See, the count is increasing. Now, when you click on it, this data should show on the cart as well. But my initial work is completed. Whenever I click on the button, the data is going inside the cart. So we don't have time to show this feature. So if you guys want, I can show you how this works. Otherwise, we don't have time. So let me just show it that it is working the way we wanted. Let's console.log. Console.log cart. In cart. Let's open the console as well. See, here your cart data is 0. Matlab, basically, you don't have anything in the cart. Let's add something. Let's add this. See, I added one component. Your cart have one component. I added two component. Now your cart have two components. So whatever data I am adding, it is going in the cart. Now you just have to print this data like you printed this data. So again, same. Here I printed a data from an array using map function. Now you just have to print this data inside a new component called cart using map. Then our cart functionality is complete. Today we don't have time, so I will not show you this part. You guys must have questions, so you can ask those questions if you want. Okay, how to remove item from the cart? That is a good question. Okay, so Shubham, if you can open your mic and speak, it will be good. So see, what happens is if you add something in cart, basically you are adding an object in the array. So each object has an ID. Okay, so whenever make a button in the card itself, and whenever you click on that button, pass that card, pass that ID in, make a function and pass that ID inside that function, and use filter method to filter from the cart data that if that ID is matched, then don't return me that data, except this ID, return all the datas. So basically, your that particular ID data is filtered and your cart item will be deleted. By the way, I already made this project the way I explained it. But you can see the cart page, you can see the other things as well, like adding, and if you click on add to cart, it will show the text go to cart and all. I didn't explain it totally because of time. You will get the you will get the GitHub link. You can see the code, you can understand the code. If you have any doubt, even after that, you can ping me. I will explain you the code again. Guys, other questions?
Guys, if you have any questions, you can ask in the chat box, or you have the permission to unmute yourself and ask the question by yourself. And yes, and after that, we will be taking few rapid fire questions with our mentor that were asked during the registrations. So if you have any questions, just quickly ask them. All right, so we have the question. Sir, for state management, use state is good or Redux?
Okay, so Ravindra, your question is good, but you see, actually the problem is not the use state. The problem is different. So see, you guys must have noticed that what to set the card data, I am passing set card to two different functions, from parent to their child, then using it in their child. Basically, from ancestor to the child, I am using this data. To use set card, I have to pass it from the two components, from the props itself. That problem is known as prop drilling. Basically, to use simple data, I have to pass many times. and this is the repetition of code. And the React have a motto that don't repeat your code, reuse your code. Okay, so to prevent that props drilling, we have a new API is introduced, context APIs. Okay, so but even the context API has so many files. So to prevent that, Redux is introduced. So what Redux does is now it has a global store. You store every data, everything in that store, and if you want to get that data, you want to use that data, you just get that from the store. See, that's why Redux is introduced. So the problem is different. Use state is different. Each file have their own state. Okay, so use state must be used in a React. You should use Redux to prevent props drilling. I hope you get this point. The problem what you are facing, because the problem why Redux is introduced. And
Right.
of course, Redux is good to state for state management. If you use Redux, then the use of use state will become very less. So if in your project, if you are using 10 use states, and if you implement Redux, then that 10 will come to 2 or 1 maximum.
All right. Do we have any more questions? If anyone has any questions, they can ask in the chat box. Till then, let's start with the questions that we received during the registration. So the first question is, how many takes does it take to learn React?
Okay, so let me be frank. Whatever I explained to you, I'm 100% sure you guys didn't understand all the topics, because technically I used 4 or 5 major topics which I generally teach in almost 10 to 15 days. The spread operator, the props passing, even the use state itself. So these things takes times. Okay, so if you understand the use state and use effect hook, I didn't tell you about use effect, but if you know in React the use state and use effect, you can say that you know 60% or 50-60% of React. Then you will be able to make any UI in React. Okay, so that is the amount you should learn. And actually, of course, everything depends on practice. The more you practice, the more you will learn. So whenever I make a new app now, I will be like, whoa, this can be done in React as well. I didn't knew. So whenever you make something, you learn something new. Okay, so of course, make projects more. The more you make, the more you will learn. Just give me a second. My laptop is discharged.
All right. Till then, I would like to tell all of you that after these questions, sir will answer few questions, and after that, we will be telling you about an opportunity. So stay till the end. Yeah, sir is.
Okay.
So, sir, we received one more question that is quite repetitive. The students feel that Angular is more popular than React. Does it is it true?
Okay, so what the thing is. Initially, people used to say PHP is more popular. So what happens now? Whenever something comes first, people get used to it and don't follow the trend, the new trend. Okay, so to answer this question, now guys, you can just search it. Just search any front-end development job, any front-end development job. I am 100% sure 70 to 80% will demand React instead of Angular. Okay, just search front-end development job. I was going to show you this, but you guys can see it themselves. So you don't have a mindset that I showed you only the specific amount of data. Just open any front-end development job. Maximum time you will see the ReactJs requirement, and there is a reason for ReactJs requirements. That already I told you, the effectiveness and the production level efficiency of React. So that is not the case of Angular is more famous. React is actually more famous.
All right, all right. So, in addition to this question, we also received about that is React too over complicated for front end development?
Okay, so there is a quote I heard somewhere. React is easy to learn but hard to master. So anyone can learn React in 1 to 2 hours. Okay, matlab, if you want to go in deep, maximum it will take 6 hours. You can learn React in 6 hours, but to master it, you will need time, at least 1 year, more than 1 year to learn. If you are working in React in more than 1 year, then I can assume that you know React very well, like you know React. So suppose there is a many concept. For now, I'm only making a UI, but React is more than UI. It is to increase your efficiency. React is used to increase your efficiency. So you React is already maintaining the efficiency, but you must maintain your code as well. So learning to make UI in React is easy, but maintaining that efficiency is quite time taking. So you will control re-renders, you will control your components and all. So that will take times. That takes at least 1 year of production level experience. So if you are working in a production level project and you are doing it in React, you will learn a lot of things, guys. Uh, you again, I'm repeating it. Learning React is easy. Mastering it is hard. Not hard, actually time taking.
Yeah, that was a wonderful quote. So we also received one question in the chat box. Does React.js use in backend also?
No, React.js is not used for backend. JavaScript has its own library or framework called Node.js or Express for the backend. React.js is only for the front end. Whatever you see on front end, that can be made in React.js. Backend doesn't have to do anything with React.
Okay. So I would like to ask one last question regarding this. So are there any limitations of using React in long term?
In what? Can you repeat?
Are there any limitations of using React?
Okay. So actually, I didn't come any problem which React is causing. I don't think there is any limitation, but actually this also depends on the person to person. If you are writing a good React code, then I don't think there is a limitation. But if you are just complicating your code, and if you are following the JavaScript way of writing front-end development code in React, if you are trying to implement HTML way of writing code in React, then it will be problem. React have its own way to write things. React have its own shortcuts. React have its own set of rules. If you follow those rules, React doesn't have any limitations. At least not that I know.
All right, all right. So I'm done with the questions that we received from the students. If anyone has any questions, I'm again asking, feel free to type in the chat box. Our mentor will answer it for all of you. Apart from that, I would like to tell you about the opportunity that I was talking about from the beginning. So now I would like to tell all of you about My Gurukul. So My Gurukul is an extended domain of MyWays. In this extended domain, we help the students to get placed in their desired role in different companies, and the students also get the opportunity to get trained over there. So for this, we have our hiring partners like Paytm, Fleetex, and many others, tech startups, MNCs on one end, and on the other end, we have the students. So this program is completely free of cost for the students, and they can simply give a live hiring test and get the opportunity to get placed. So for this, there is a simple procedure. Firstly, we conduct a hiring test with the student in his or her preferred domain. Then there is an internal interview with our team. And after that, there is an external interview with the company itself. So after clearing these 3 rounds, you can get placed, and you will be also getting the training. And the training can depend upon your profile. It can be from 3 months up to 1 year. So if anyone of you is interested, then kindly fill the interest form that was circulated in the chat box before. I'll quickly share it again. And if you are interested in giving the text hiring test for your specified domain, feel free to fill the form. Our team will reach out to you via your email address. The form is in the chat box. Kindly fill it, and you all are also requested to follow the community groups and social media handles of MyWays to stay updated about our upcoming master classes for all of you. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining in today's session. And I would like to mention Special thank you to our mentor for conducting this masterclass with us and helping our students to understand about React. Sir, I would also like to know your feedback about this masterclass. How do you like it?
Okay,
How did you?
so
Yeah.
I liked it. Like I after a very long time, I teach to someone from this basic, because generally the people I teach is they know generally they know Java React as well. They know the basics. I just teach them the efficiency part and the all. So after a long time, I went to the basics, and it is quite like good, because I also revised it myself. So that is great. Thank you for the opportunity as well.
Glad to hear that feedback. Thank you so much. And thank you so much to all the students. We are ending this masterclass and feel free to leave. And if you have any, okay, we received one question, GitHub link of this project. Shum, can you specify? Like your question seems to be incomplete.
No, it is complete. I will share the link to Nitya to you. You can share it to the student.
All right, the GitHub link related to the session. All right.
Yeah.
So the mentor will share it with us and we will be sharing it on your mail IDs. Don't worry about that. The resource kit and everything will be shared via email address. All right. Thank you. See you in the next weekend.